Alright everybody, and welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at what is the golden piece, if you will, for the 2022 Christmas Lemax collection. I present to you the Lemax Santa's Free Zone. Let's get into it.
Bring in the holidays. You're watching Villages and More.
Okay, so right off the top, I want to send a huge shout out to Weffy's Closet for sponsoring this video. She is your one-stop shop for all of your jewelry needs, so check her out at weffyscloset.com or on Instagram at weffys_closet. Okay, so Santa's Free Zone, this thing is huge, and it is a beautiful, beautiful carnival piece. But let me tell you, this one comes with what I believe to be the most expensive release by Lemax maybe ever. But we're going to talk about that because there's other things we can do, coupons, things like that, good places to look, etc. We'll go over all that. But for now, let's start with the facts. So here we go. Of course, it was released in 2022, and the SKU number off the top is 24958. Now for some dimensions, we have 17.52 inches high, 8.86 inches wide, and 8.27 inches in depth. That's right, this thing is really big, like super, super tall especially. All right, product type, sights and sounds, and it is made of resin. Now let's talk power. We have a standard 4.5 volt DC power supply, and it draws about 395 milliamps. So please never put this one on those multi-adapters. As for your switch, it's going to be a standard power volume roll switch. Now let's talk price. Now please prepare yourself and let me get all the way through this price thing, because this one, look guys, it is what it is. So here we go. The price of this beautiful carnival piece is $219.99 at Michael's. I'm pretty sure in the history of Lemax, that is probably the most expensive release, at least here in my area at Michael's, that I've ever seen. Could there be a few along the way? Maybe, I don't know. But for my lifetime of collecting, $219 is the highest I've ever seen. But let's not get too scared of it just yet, and I'm going to tell you why. So this piece here was an early release sent to me by Lemax for review. It was one that I requested, and it was because I was pretty sure in person it was going to be amazing, and let me tell you, it really is. This is definitely the top of the top quality when it comes to Lemax. It's absolutely stunning. It's a cool drop effect that's happening, which we're going to go over, but the question is, does it justify the price? Well, here's the thing about the price. So yes, it's $219.99. However, there is a lot of coupons out there. At the time of filming this video, Michael's has already dropped the price down to $153.99. There's other retailers selling it for around, I think it's like $189, maybe something like that. They're all kind of within that, $153 to $219 range, and as time goes on, they'll get a little bit cheaper. But yeah, look, when they first hit the shelf, when they first hit the shelf, yeah, it was $219, guys. But look, it's absolutely stunning. And the truth is, I think demand on this one's going to be quite high. I think the price is definitely going to be a concern of many of us. And look, I've said it 100 times. This hobby is very expensive and is continuing to rise. But do you get $220 worth of house here? Well, that's for you to decide, but I'm going to tell you this. I really like it, and I think, I would have liked to have seen it, maybe around the, $179, something like that. But yeah, I mean, if you want the top best of the best for the 2022 season, then yeah, it's gonna cost you the $220, but with the coupons and things like that, it definitely makes this house worth it, no question. If you're paying $160 after tax, $170, maybe even $180, there is no question it is worth every penny. But if you did pay full price, I think you can still sleep well at night. I mean, it's very, very impressive, and I truly love it. Okay, so that about wraps up all of the facts as well as my rant. So with that said, it's time to take a closer look. Okay, so upon opening the box, there is going to be a little setup included here. So you're going to notice that there's going to be two items included. It's going to be the top piece as well as this little flag. So very simple to attach. You're going to take the flag and push it into the top of the topper, if you will. By the way, beautiful topper. Anyways, okay, as far as connecting the topper, there is magnets both on the bottom of it as well as on the top of the unit itself. It will only fit one way, very easy to attach. It's magnets, so it kind of basically goes on for you. So very easily done, and that's it. Plug it in, you're good to go. All right, so here it is. Look at this thing. It's absolutely stunning. It's gigantic, and it just really captures your eye right out the gate. So let's go right from the top and start working our way down. So here we are at that topper we just attached. You can see that the little wind flag thing, and it can go in any direction, by the way, when you put it in. Cute little plane topper, you know, maybe if Santa's flying by or they're testing the wind, who knows, but it's cute. As you work your way down, you're gonna see Santa on the right side, very nice detail, a lot of snow because it's a freeze zone, and let's face it, this thing is so tall, it's definitely hitting the North Pole. On the other side is going to be a reindeer. He has a beautiful saddle on, and there's also like a little satellite thing next to him as well. You know, they're really trying to put in as much detail as they can, you know, as far as the price goes, you know, and obviously they have a budget for building, so there's got to be a little bit of a trade-off, but nonetheless, very nice topper. Next is going to be the logo / sign itself. Has a little light on top of it. It's very easy to see. And it reminds me of like that writing you would see on like a bag of ice. You know, it really, for some reason, ties in that cold feel to it, if you will. And it's actually decent size as well. And it seems to be scaled correctly to the height of this thing. So beautiful sign. Love the color scheme. A lot of snow up there. And they're really trying to give you a lot. So next, we're going to move on to the show itself. It is a giant thermometer that drops this thing. Now, of course, not a real thermometer, but it's made to look like one. It's got a bunch of LEDs that go up the side, and from the front, you get the thermometer look, and from the side, there's a bunch of snowflakes. So really cute. Really solid on theming this year. You know, when they grab a theme, they kind of stick with it, and I love that. They see it in, see it out. Okay, so next is going to be the unit itself that drops. There is a bunch of kids on this thing, could be adults as well, but they look like kids, or at least based on the scaling. But really smooth, drops super quick though, like super quick. All the characters are nice and detailed. They have different outfits on, shoes, the whole thing. And with the soundtrack that you'll hear later in the video, it really goes well together. Another thing I want to note that as they're rising and dropping, the LEDs do change, not color, they're always blue, but what they do, the patterns that the LEDs do kind of go with the ride and help build that, you know, anticipation, if you will. And look, they're dropping so quickly, they're dropping right into the freeze zone. So very cool, and I love how fast this thing drops. It's very aggressive in that sense, but not loud like you think it would be. So you can have it in your village and it's not gonna get annoying or anything like that. It's beautifully done, and this is really what you're paying for, is this drop mechanism. You know, a lot goes into these, you know, houses, right? The gears, the animation, all this kind of stuff. And so to have something like this, plus it's so tall, there's gonna be a lot of shipping costs as well. You know, they're really slamming the bang for your buck thing, even though it is extremely expensive. Okay, so as we work our way down more towards the bottom, you're going to see a lot of characters and trees and snowmen. I'm going to try to just show you different pictures right now, but very detailed, okay? Very detailed. The scaling, I don't know about that. You know, the scaling seems to fit the actual figures, but the little shack that's there, I don't know, scaling-wise doesn't seem to work, but honestly, I didn't even notice that until I got right up on it. But overall, the figures themselves, beautifully done. I love the trees, and having that snowman there just kind of ties in that Christmas feel. Next, I'd like to bring your attention to this staircase that comes down the side. Guys, this thing is impressive. It doesn't light up or anything like that, but it's like a beautifully like red carpet kind of feel. It's huge, comes down the side, looks absolutely stunning. I wanted to show a couple different views of it because really it's kind of impressive in person, to be honest with you, just that little staircase. And it's a nice contrast as well, having that red there. It really kind of adds a little color to this thing because there is so much blue everywhere on this thing because it's a freeze zone, right? But anyways, nonetheless, it's a nice contrast and it's very big. Okay, so here we are at the very bottom of this thing. There's a few things I want to note for you. We'll start with another reindeer. You know I love reindeers. But yeah, it looks very similar to the reindeer on top, but nonetheless, it's a reindeer. All right, next up, there is a couple signs here like a please watch your step, Warning, you will drop into cold temperatures. And I think it is so true on this piece. Also, it has a beautiful blue coat. Like I said, there's blue everywhere, but it's a different kind of color blue. It's like a lighter blue that kind of goes around the base of this thing. Has a real nice contrast with the snow being so, pearly white, really. But yeah, so beautiful contrast there. Next up is the giant window in the front. So, other people walking by this ride in your village, right? We're kind of using our imaginations here, but as they walk by, they can look into the ride and actually see what's happening. When they fall into that freeze zone, they can legitimately see it through the window. And it's huge. It's a big window. It's the viewing window. You can see it, the folks in your village can see it, and all of your friends. As for the back view of this thing, not much going on there. I mean, you can see, the trees and stuff from the back. Looks kind of nice, but this is probably one of those pieces definitely where you're going to want to have it facing forward. Some of the pieces this year have been universal where you could put them sideways and they look equally nice because the back's super impressive. On this one, the back is very simple. All the money went into literally the drop and what it looks like from the front. So I totally understand why they went a little simpler from the back view, but you still get the snow. But other than that, it's kind of simple in the back. So with that said, guys, I want to wrap up this video just with a couple thoughts. $220, is it worth it? I love it. And I think it's super unique as well because we don't get a lot of carnival style rides, from Lemax. I'd love to see some more of them. I know a lot of people are heavy into that theme. And this one is going to be the holy grail of the 2022 season. But more importantly, I wanted to point out something. It's $220 today. I mean, with coupons, you'll probably even get it cheaper. However, this is going to be one of those pieces I think that long-term collectability is going to skyrocket on this thing, because it's unique and it's huge and it's very effective, with what it's trying to portray with the carnival style ride. So I think the collector value on this thing is going to be really, really big. So if you do get one, take good care of it. It's going to be one of those pieces I think that people are going to be like, wow, yeah, I'd love to have my hands on that one, someday. Kind of like, the Fun House or even Last House on the Left, some of those. So I think it's going to at the very least be a very collectible piece. I don't know how collectible, but definitely more than I think what it's going for today. So there it is, guys. That is the Santa's Freeze Zone. Absolutely stunning, beautiful. I'm gonna hit the lights so you can hear the soundtrack. Shout out again to Weffy's Closet for sponsoring today's video. And as always, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.
When it snows around Christmas time, you can barely see a light, and it gets quite cold flying through the night. But I make it fun, and I'm not alone, playing in Santa's Freeze Zone. Don't worry, son, we're going to have lots of fun.
Okay, Dad. Whoa, look. You can even see our house from up here. Whoa, this is awesome.
Ho, ho, hold on to your hats, kids. The temperature's about to drop.
Again, Dad.
Okay, son, but only because it's Christmas. But I make it fun, and I'm not alone, playing in Santa's Freeze Zone.